Hi, this is Paul. We're doing Leetcode must-know interview questions. Today's challenge is zigzag conversion. And how does that work? All right, so let's say we have a string. Let me get something to write with here. All right, we've got a string, something like this. PayPal is hiring. So it's written in a zigzag pattern on a given number of rows. Given the number of rows, it's 3 in this intro here. And yeah, zigzag. What does that mean? Well, it means that we start writing down like this. And then when we get to the number of rows, we start writing up again and to the right, like this, and then down, and then, well, you get the idea. And then the idea is that once we have zigzagged the whole thing, what we want to return is the strings by row. So treat that as a string and then concatenate this and then concatenate this. And the whole thing looks like that. Okay. It seems like, well, it's kind of tempting when you see this to well, actually, let's see, what is there anything else that we should know about here? Oh, still writing. Yeah, let me just take the writing off for now. Is there anything else that we need to know here? Our input is a string and a number of rows. Okay, here's an example with 4 rows, an example with 1 row. All right, that's good to know that there is a 1 row possibility. Consists of English letters, lowercase and uppercase, comma and period. The examples are just all uppercase letters. So I mean, I don't think we have to do any conversion. But okay, when you see when you see the string written out in a zigzag fashion like that, it's tempting to think about setting up like a 2D array and then putting the letters, simulating the zigzag pattern of the letters in a 2D structure. But it introduces a lot of spaces that we're going to have to get rid of when we do the string concatenation. For example, let's go over here. The first row with this, like P-I-N, with all those spaces, but when we return it, those spaces are not supposed to be there. So I think it's better to think about this in terms of, we have to keep track. I mean, we have to get the letters in the right rows. So they have to go up and down, but they don't really have to zigzag. In other words, this example here, we've got to put P in the first row. We've got to put A in the second row. We've got to put Y in the third row. We've got to put P in the fourth row. And then we've got to recognize that we're at the bottom and start going up again. So A goes in the third row. L goes in the second row, I goes in the top row, and then we have to recognize that we're in the top row, start going down again. So we can do that. We can put a character in the current row. We can check for each letter that are we at the top, are we at the bottom, and have an indicator, down or up. What else? And then increment the row counter depending on what increment or decrement the row counter, depending on whether we're moving down or up. But these could just be strings. I mean, it could be an array of strings, and we just put them all, we just make sure each letter gets into the right string. The shape and the spaces are, I think, just kind of a distraction. So let's think about how we would code this. All right. Well, there is an edge case, and we should probably just handle it to save ourselves a little bit of work, and that is if num rows equals 1, then we can just return s. Okay, and we're done. All right, what else do we need? We need an array of strings. An array of strings is a new string array of length num rows. Okay, so now we're gonna think of each horizontal row here just as a string. What else do we need? We need to initialize it. Arrays fill arr and just fill it with initially empty strings. What else? We need a row counter. Initially 0. We need, well, a Boolean will work for this. Initially, we're going to be moving down. And when we hit the bottom row, we can flip down to false. All right. And now I think we're in a position to set up a for loop on the input array. We'll say for int I equals 0, I less than s dot length I plus plus. Okay, array at the row index, we're going to concatenate s dot char at I. Initialize or concatenate the character. Now we've got to check where we're at. What row are we in? If row equals num rows minus 1, if that's true, let's see, then we're at the bottom row, so we have to flip down to false. We're also going to check and see if we're in the top row. So if row equals 0, then we'll set down to true. All right. Next step is adjusting the row counter. If down, if we're moving down, then we want to increment row. If we're moving up, we want to decrement row. And that is the end of the for loop. Now, where do we declare these variables? Array is number. Okay, yeah, so that's good. All right, so now we're out of the for loop. How do we return this? So let's create a variable here that we can return. I'll call it result. Initially, it's empty. We can say for int I equals 0, I less than num rows I plus plus. and result plus equals array at row. Return result. All right, take one more look at this. All right, page through or parse through the string, append the characters, move the rows up and down, concatenate the result. Let's run and see what happens. Wrong answer. What was wrong with it? Oh my God, it's not even close. Let's try it again. I think I see the problem here. Let's take that, change it to I, and run it. Okay. Accepted on the base case. Let's submit. Okay. Accepted. 14, 27, 40. Okay, well, analyze complexity. That's interesting. That's new. Let's see what happens if we analyze the complexity. Oh, event. Well, okay, that's good. That's not what I thought I was going to do, but anyway, so there's the solution. Again, the zigzagging is just kind of a red herring, but that's it for today's challenge. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and see you next time.